Redhead and blondes. Go, and you actually should go with them. Go fast, please. Like, actually catch them.
Should have teased about the inside of things. Like,
Yeah. I mean, in general, if you're asking me, should you tease, the answer is usually going to be, yeah. I mean, more often than not, yes. Especially, like, when the girl is hot, tease more. Give her more shit. I would rather, like, you occasionally offend a girl than that you get these, like, soft, nice conversations. These flaccid-ass approaches.
I don't push enough. I don't tease. I have a hard time, especially when I like them. I'm always
You're like too nice. Like drooling at him and stuff.
How do you tease or push?
You gotta not give a fuck. You gotta be okay with offending, and you got to really go for it. You're not getting as good at opens as you can. Because of you're too sort of like stiff and calm, and you don't have enough oomph, right? Like not enough pop. It's not strong enough. Okay. Like remember this is just one example, but remember the one where you gave the compliment and then that was it, and you didn't go further, right? Yeah. Or other ones, you're just kind of like, I'm walking over, hi, I'm here, hi, I'm gonna open you, right? I want you to have a little more like cockiness, a little more like swagger, a little more like, I am the coolest guy in London. My penis is this big and you'd be lucky to have it. I mean, I want you to have a little bit of that kind of vibe about it. You're coming over kind of like as though you're giving them an obligation, or as though you're imposing on them, or as though you're just kind of hoping it'll work, as opposed to they are lucky you are there.
Yeah.
Okay? And that comes across to them in 100 subtle ways.
Yes.
Okay? But it's the difference between like, hello, right, versus, hey, excuse me, right? Where there's just a little bit of like kind of, I'm loose, I'm relaxed, I'm smiling. There's like that, just that little twinkle in your eye of like, I'm either up to mischief or you're about to have the best day of your life. More energy and more like, I am awesome. You would be lucky to be with me, okay? You have the energy, right? You have that energy and intensity, so that you have. You have the oomph on your opens, but then the thing, which we talked about before, but is it's oomph with the cockiness. Oomph with the, I can take you or leave you, right? Obviously, you did open, so you are interested enough to go see them. You can't hide that fact. But interested does not mean sold, right? The vibe you should have in both of you guys, I was interested enough to give you 10 seconds of my day. But hey, you're cute, so you have 30 seconds to impress me. That's not what you're literally gonna say, because that would be way too much on the open, but that's what your attitude should say. Your attitude should say, you're lucky enough to get an audience with the king. Don't waste it. If the girl says to you sometimes, like, who do you think you are, or what makes you so confident, that's good.
That's the way.
The ideal thing you would want to convey is not that you are a player, but that you could be a player if you wanted to, but choose not to. That's the guy they're really looking for. The guy who could have any girl without effort, but is extremely selective and only goes for the best. That's what you're trying to convey that you are. Across the board for all of you guys, you're not getting as big of opens or as good an opens as you can because of things that you're doing on your first impression. I went through specifically for these guys what it is. For you guys, it's more similar to him, which is you're not coming with enough oomph, all right? Number one, you need to be louder. Yeah. You are a big fucking dude. Don't be the big
fucking
quiet.
Viking. You're the essence of a culture.
I want you to be loud. I want you to or at least louder, loud and assertive, right? And also because of that, you can open from further away, which is going to make it a lot more comfortable for them, right? But I want your impression is that when you go there, for you guys, you are the most important, best thing that's happening to them today. You are an enormous opportunity, and this is their one-time chance with you.
So like unapologetically assertive, but nonchalant, like you don't give a shit.
Yeah. That's, putting all those words together is not as easy as it sounds, but yes, that is exactly what you're going for, yes. And you in particular, you come across very like polite and classy and stuff like that, so you have a wide range that you can go to with breaking rapport and fucking around before you're going to go over the top of it. You also are very calibrated, so just realize that if you ever do go too far, you can just say, just kidding, or I was just fucking with you or something like that. I want you to go over the speed limit a little bit and rein it back in.
That could be fun. I like that.
You have to assume the burden. You have to make the conversation happen. And by the way, the frame around this, why do you have to make the conversation happen? Is it because you're lower value? No. It's because she's not ready to meet this attractive of a guy yet, and she doesn't realize how cool you are yet. So you just need to give her, 30 seconds or a minute to realize it. Even in assuming the burden, you're assuming the burden from the right frame. Not the, will you please have me? I have to work for this conversation because I'm unworthy. Be like, hi, I'm here. I know it's a little overwhelming. So as a high value guy, I'm gonna do you the favor of carrying the conversation. And then, once we're actually, in it, you're gonna have to impress me.
How do I hone that energy? Can I don't know, can I read something? Can I
Sure.
don't know, like, how do I do it?
So a lot of it is gonna come down to how you feel and your attitude, okay? There's this idea in game, they say that the self is always coming through, right? How you feel, what you're thinking is coming through in your actions. Okay? If you feel turned on and you're interacting with her, she will feel a little more turned on. If you feel shy and nervous, she'll feel nervous. As you're talking to the girl, like she's talking, maybe she's telling you a story, you're listening to the story, but you're kind of sitting there just objectifying her and thinking like, it would be really fun to fuck you. Yeah, you want to have a little bit of that vibe and that essence coming through.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to be thinking it and feeling it because it's going to come through, right? And then along with that, what you're going to do is you're going to hold eye contact just a little bit too long. You're going to kind of smirk just a little bit too much. You're gonna find excuses to like just touch her while talking to her instead of not touching her while talking to her, right? You're gonna find all these ways to make little extra sexual things happen in the conversation. So that's number one, is you are going to come across as like a sexual being because you are thinking about sex, because you are holding the eye contact too long, because you are touching and leading and those kind of things, okay? So that's number one. The other thing that you wanna do is you want to actually have some negative spikes in the conversation. So she doesn't feel like this like, oh, I can have him, I'm relaxed, I'm just floating by. You want it to be just like, the fuck does this guy think he is? What did he just say to me?
Yeah.
Right? So it's that combination of like a lot of sexuality and a little bit of frustration that all kind of like builds up for the girl, right? I want you to try and start creating that. And you can even say, like, you can be very sexual and also be negative. Be like, look, you're so sexy, but I'm just letting you know this is not happening tonight, okay? Do you agree? Promise me, right? So it's like, it's very intense, it's very sexual, but it's also very like, there's that push away as well, right?
Would she buy it though? That's the internal thing coming up.
If you try and do one big thing, they may think it's true or not true.
Yeah.
They may trust it or not trust it.
Right.
Because it's clearly an overt thing you did at one specific time and it's a big deal. If you do a tiny thing here and 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 it's consistent and congruent throughout the entire interaction, yes, they're going to believe it because all the data points say the same thing. Does that make sense? Right? It's not one hammer blow data point.
Yeah.
It's 100 little like chipping away evidence data points throughout the entire date that are saying that. So early game theory was all about sexualizing because most guys didn't know how to sexualize, were way too platonic, etc. So it was all about sexualizing the everything, man to woman, eye contact, escalation, that kind of stuff. One of the huge breakthroughs was the idea that what you're trying to be on the open is not sexual. It's chatty and fun and high value, and then the sexual comes after, right? Does that make sense? In fact, if you're too sexual on the open, you're asking for too, that's what you were doing, right? And some girls respond really well to it, but for other girls, it's just too much, right? You're asking for, if you're too sexual on the open, you're asking for too much compliance. You should ask for compliance in your sets, but only the amount you've earned. You earn the compliance, then ask for it. Once you get the yes, that earns you more compliance, which you can then ask for. Okay? But yeah, energy sexual energy is great for escalation and arousal. It's not the only kind of energy in the set.
Okay, hypothetically, in the best case scenario, how much sexual energy should it be in like a 2-hour set? Like 10%, 5%, doesn't matter? Depend the girl?
Depends. It depends a lot. There are sets where it will be a lot of really good conversation and connection and just like the undertone and hint of sex. Yeah. And there's some conversations where it's just going to be like pure fucking sex from the get-go.
Yes.
And both can work. I've slept with girls and dated girls with both types of interaction. I said this to a couple of you guys, but not to all of you. If you ever overdo it, back off, false time constraint. I'm just kidding, I'm just fucking with you. Something like that is fine. It's not good to go over and bring it back, but it's better to go over and bring it back than to underdo it. There's one of my favorite quotes in game, I say this all the time. Mistakes of audacity can usually be corrected with more audacity. Mistakes of timidity are not forgiven. If I go in and I'm too weak and she blows me off, I'm pretty much done. But if I go up with them to like, hey, excuse me, I was wondering if you happen to have noticed how fucking cool I am. She goes, who the fuck are you? I'm just kidding, I'm fucking around. But anyway, hi, I'm Todd, nice to meet you, right? You can get through that. You can bluster through after being too cocky. But it's hard to turn on the bluster after being too nice. Like, hi, excuse me, I wanted to talk to you. She's like, fuck off. Like, no, hi, I'm actually really confident, and it doesn't work, right? Because being confident and being high value is something you are. Being comfortable is something you choose to do. So a high value guy who wants to can make a girl feel comfortable, right? A comfortable guy cannot just flip a switch and be high value. So that's why it's usually better to lead with value and then apologize, or lead with value and then build the comfort. If you're too high value and lack comfort, it won't keep you from sleeping with her, it'll just make it slower. If you're too comfortable and not high value enough, you may not get a shot, okay? So it's better to go hard and go value centric and go like, I'm the shit, and then tone it down if you have to. A couple of things I want you guys to work on. Number one, like I said, no more nice to meet yous, okay? And then with regards to your openers, I want you to walk in like you meant to open and like you are the most important, biggest deal thing happening. Whatever they were doing before you got there, doesn't matter. You are the event that's happening, okay? So no like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Hey, excuse me, I know this is random. Just like, hi, I'm here. Right? You're not literally, that's not literally the words, but that's what your body language is saying, right? I'm here and I am the most important thing that is gonna happen to you, not just today, but probably in your whole life, right? And also, oh, by the way, I'm awesome, okay? That's what I want to happen. So you're like the bowling ball of awesomeness obliterating the pins. You're not the bowling ball rolling up and politely knocking on the first pin and saying, excuse me, do you mind if I knock you over? It's like in martial arts, like you're trying to break a board, you punch through the board, right, on the open. But in a friendly way. Not an angry punch through the board, but a friendly punch through the board. That's kind of what we're going for. Make sense? Okay, cool. With that said, guys, 2 approaches, at least 2, self-directed, minimum 2 approaches, or if you get like an instant date or something like that, that's fine, that counts, okay? And then we'll see you at classroom, we'll do some breakdown and whatnot. All right, guys, go to it, have fun, and we'll see you at classroom.